That's what's going on. Getting those steps in. Remember to like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Some pretty cool stuff going on right now. Oh, let's go this way. So we finally got fully monetized. That's pretty cool. Pretty happy about that. Marsha, how you doing? Oh, look at this chair. So many interesting scenes in this city. Just wonder, like, how did this chair get there? Why is it here? I don't know. So we got fully monetized. That's pretty cool. And I'm going to set up some memberships to the channel. Right now I'm just going to start with one tier, and yeah, we'll go from there. So I think that should be approved tomorrow, but that's pretty cool. Yeah, thanks so much. Hopefully it'll help us create more content, and the more we have, the more we can do, like I always say. So that's pretty cool, I think. Hey, Cricket, thanks a lot. That's really nice of you. Thanks so much for that. Yeah, I want to do more video journalism and all kinds of stuff. Maybe some lighter content too, just like maybe show people the city, that kind of thing. I don't know. I have a lot of ideas. As annoying as ads are, don't get me wrong, I completely get it. But it is what it is, right? It's a complicated world. So yeah, I'm going to set up some channel memberships too. I looked into that today for a while. I think I'm just going to do one tier right now for people who want to support the channel, and maybe we'll expand it after that. So yeah. So I heard activist Henry Marini won a restraining order against that fringe live streamer. So that's interesting. I was actually just looking at those court records, which are publicly available on the LA court website. Maybe I'll write about that. I'm not sure. There's a few things I have to do today. We'll see. Hey, Cricket, this is Los Angeles, California. This is Amoeba Records over here. That's the Pantages. Fat Sal's is a sandwich shop that was badly hurt by a fire a month or two ago. I don't even know how they're doing. I hope they're okay. This looks like kind of a new ad though, so maybe they're back on their feet. Oh, you said it was in a Ricky Lee Jones song? That's interesting. Yeah, that's a great theater. This is the W Hotel. I'm sure people who are been on these walks for a while want to see something new, but maybe tomorrow. Uh, Actually, I was going to go down. I kind of would rather go down to Sunset. I think I'm going to do that. But real quick, this is the Walk of Fame. And this is Frolic Room. If you've seen the movie LA Confidential, you know this bar. LA is a cool city. There's a lot to do here. Here we have one of our robot delivery bots right here. This is Grant. Fans of live streamer Film the Police LA know that he sometimes bullies robots. I'm not as good at that yet. I'm working on it. I guess he's not on delivery. William's better at that than I am. I think I'm gonna take a left here. Because we did this yesterday, so I'd rather walk somewhere else. So we were down here yesterday, and they had a fairly big crowd watching the Super Bowl over by the Dolby Theater, which is where they hold the Oscars. But it was pretty quiet in the city. I mean, it wasn't either of our teams, so things typically get pretty crazy in LA when it's an LA-based team. Chris said I was there a lot in the 80s. Bodie Tree Bookstore and Melrose Avenue shopping. Yeah, those are cool areas. Melrose, especially. You said hello from Brampton, Canada. Cool. Welcome. Yeah, I didn't watch the Super Bowl. If you guys heard yesterday's stream, I turned it on and I was like, literally like around the coin toss, that kind of time, and I was like, why am I watching this? Like I just had like no interest in it, so I turned it off. And instead, I watched that Alex Garland movie, Civil War, which I had not seen. Thought it was pretty good. That's Katsuya, a very nice restaurant, a very expensive restaurant. What is this? The one who believes differently is your neighbor. He gets us.com. Okay. Hello from Tennessee. What's going on? How you doing? That's a place I'd like to go. I have not spent much time there. This is the Montalban Theater. For those who are fans of the actor Ricardo Montalban from Fantasy Island. You gotta love this title. The Empire Strips Back. That's awesome. I need to see that show. That sounds good. Hey, look at this. Interesting. You're from SoCal originally? That's cool, Patricia. Yeah. Well, I love music. I play music too. So, like, of course, I've always wanted to go to Nashville, the songwriter's paradise, as they say. I'll make it there. This was a WeWork, and now WeWork, I think, is not really happening anymore. So I don't know what's still going on over here. For those who are coming in for the first time, my name is Eric LeVay. I'm an investigative reporter and an open source intelligence analyst, which means I use public information typically to track down people like war criminals, terrorists, domestic terrorists specifically, and bring them to justice. So that's what I do for a living. And I write about, reporting-wise, I write about organized crime, extremism, terrorism, some conspiracies and things like that. I got into streaming like maybe a year ago when I started to cover these anti-Scientology protests out here in LA. And I started just kind of going out to them to photograph them. And then this was a Bed Bath & Beyond, but I think they went bankrupt, so now it's this Burlington. I don't think I've ever been in this store, actually. Anyway, so I started photographing these protests, and I saw people were streaming, and I was like, oh, this looks interesting. And at first, I didn't really like it. I was like, as a person who likes to have a lot of control, in my, the art, or whatever I'm doing, right? Like, if I'm producing writing or whatever, I'm pretty meticulous about it. This medium is the opposite. It's basically totally unfiltered, but it took a little adjusting, but I enjoy it. It's just one more tool in the toolbox. Like, I streamed a protest the other day, and it was interesting. I still managed to take some photos. I think if I was writing about it, like if I had been there on assignment, I don't know if I would stream it, because it's like your head has to be in the kind of a different mindset. But it was interesting. I think it's a pretty valuable medium, but it's definitely different than just doing video. The thing is, if you're doing more of a long-term project, like my buddy, if you guys saw the stream, that's a couple of streams ago where it's called, I think, Activists Shut Down LA Freeway. My buddy who was out there that I was with, Jonathan, he wasn't streaming, he brought this really nice camera, and he was capturing footage where it's mixed. This is the ArcLight, sadly another business that unfortunately closed during the pandemic. It was literally one of the greatest movie theaters ever. Because the ArcLight was for people who really for real cinephiles, I guess that's the phrase. It was way more expensive, but you got a lot more for it. And they had all kinds of events, and you didn't even need to go to an event. You would go to this theater, and just people who are in the movie would just be here. They just, to see the movie that they were a part of. Now it's cool. It's been closed for, God, 3 years, 4 years now, something like that. Ginger, you said I retweeted a story about Vermont real estate. I'm trying to even remember that. I'm trying to even remember that one. Yeah. Yep, I have done what I can in different capacities to protect this country. Both when I worked on a specialized team at this think tank in DC, which was a previous job, and now I'm back out here. Well, I was always out here, but I was going back and forth a lot when I had that job. I've done what I can. I'm a little checked out these days, to be honest. You know, I've done what I can, and unfortunately, things have sort of gotten worse, but you know, you do the best you can. That's all you can do. Oh, I think I know the story you're talking about, Ginger. Is that the one about? Yeah, they're basically a cult that was working out of Northern California too, and then one or two of them, were involved in the murder of a U.S. Border Patrol agent. I think that's the one. So this independent outlet called Open Vallejo, they do great work. They've been digging into these people and finding out so much more. It's this crazy like techno cult. Like it's just the most bizarre story. Go this way, I guess. Because the story that broke first was about the murder of the Border Patrol agent, and then slowly, as this outlet dug into it, they found that this group was rooted in up near Berkeley. And they're a gang, basically. They're criminal. They're no different than really any other gang. They just have all this BS, like this techno aspect to it. Because I think at least one of them worked in Silicon Valley. But when you take all that away, they're just murderous thugs. That's a crazy story. Yeah, that's some good work. Check out Open Vallejo. They do great work up there in Northern California. We got fringe groups in charge of the country now. The last one I heard is one of these Doge guys. I mean, one of them is basically a neo-Nazi. The other one, they found that they tracked him to some cyber criminal group. And he's one of the people who currently, or last I checked, has access to your personal data. It's just totally insane. Ali Winston, I think that's his name, who's a journalist up in Northern California, called this group a tier 1 domestic terrorist threat. And this guy who's working for Elon Musk now has a government position. It's just absolutely crazy. In anti-terrorism work, they call it insider threats. That's the phrase you'll hear. That's what we're dealing with right now. Insider threats. I like this. Whose house? I think this is like a private club. Forget. Oh, the Hollywood Athletic Club. Yeah. Kind of has that eyes wide shut vibe, don't you think? Yeah, you gotta follow the money. I saw this forensic cryptocurrency investigator course. I was like, oh, this looks cool. Like, but it was like $2,000. I was like, yeah, I'll wait on that one. But it sounded super interesting. A lot of that stuff, you don't really need those courses. You can learn it over time through, but it doesn't hurt to take a class or something like that. I have like limited experience with that kind of thing. Hey Natalie. Yeah. As someone said last night, I'll just say I do follow things, but I'm like a big picture guy more, you know what I mean? So we are about to pass though one of their most disgusting buildings. It's called it's right here. So this right here is what's called. So this is an anti-psychiatry museum. It's called Psychiatry, an Industry of Death. The name of the group that runs it is called the Citizens Commission on Human Rights, which is controlled by the Church of Scientology. So it's this big anti-psychiatry museum because L. Ron Hubbard did not like psychiatry or mental health. Even though he ripped off Freud and other professionals when he was creating, when he was writing Dianetics and all that. It just went out all of a sudden. It went out right when I was in front of the. It went out right when I was in front of the Citizens Commission on Human Rights. And then it wouldn't reconnect. I had to do this little technical thing just now, like a little workaround. Like my phone, I wouldn't even, like my phone completely lost connection. And I was not done talking back there. So I'm going to finish my thought and then continue on my way. I mean, if you watch this channel for a while or other ones, you know that frequently being in front of these buildings that are related to Scientology, sometimes it seems like your signal goes out. I'll leave the speculation to you on why that is, but it's happened to me at least 5 times, and it happened to other people. I do know Jessica, yeah. That was just really weird. Because usually it'll go out and come back. And I was not done with my thought, which irritates me. So I'm going to finish my thought and continue the other direction. So what was I saying about CCHR, says Commission on Human Rights? He's an anti-psych professional. Saved probably millions of lives. So that's my thought. Hey Patricia, thanks for subscribing. We do a lot, not just me walking around rambling about this and that. We do interviews. The last sit-down interview we did was with my friend William Good, who's both I filmed the Police LA. He's a cop watcher and a police accountability expert, so check that one out. That was a fun one. There was another crash today. Oh my God, are you serious? I knew about the one in Alaska. There was another one? What I do know is that cutting any kind of funding to these programs is insane. To air traffic controllers, you have got to be insane to do that. But they are insane, the people in charge right now. It was in Arizona. Oh man. It's all a bunch of bullshit anyway, by the way. Ken Klippenstein over at the Intercept, Ken is on Substack now. He used to be a reporter at the Intercept. He wrote a whole article about the bill that the taxpayer got for Trump and all them going to the Super Bowl, and it was a huge amount of money. But the fake Department of Doge or whatever it's called, didn't say anything about that, right? Because it's bullshit. It's not about trimming government fat. It's about hurting the people that they want to hurt. That's what it's always been about. To answer your question, Henry did win his case today. He won I read through the court documents. He won a permanent restraining order against that person for a year period. I don't know what happens after that, how it works with the court. Maybe there's an option to extend it. Yeah, it's a fake. All the stuff's illegal. I mean, I know you guys know that. All the stuff is illegal. Freaking people with no security clearance accessing your personal data. But no one ever thought this kind of stuff would happen. You know what I mean? Like, no one ever thought that. Sort of like these criminal gangs would be able to take charge of this country in that way, in the same way that other countries I've written about, like in Russia or I don't know, take your pick, a lot of places where the mafia and the government are sort of work together in different ways. I mean, we've always had that kind of problem here, but not to the same level. Not right now, like I said, where there's people with no business looking at this information. And the goal is to, it's just to exploit you in a lot of ways, unfortunately. I'll go this way. If you're asking about the person that he got the restraining order against, if you check on my Substack, I wrote an article on them. Substack is just Eric LeVay. The link should be in the description. And you could subscribe, by the way, guys. It's free. And that's why I publish a lot of stuff these days. So there's a warrant out for his arrest on 26 counts involving stalking, violating a restraining order on a different person. By the way, not the same person. I asked the LAPD sort of what the story was, and I asked the city attorney, and no one really gave me an answer, so I don't know. The next step is that a warrant squad or whoever handles that for this department would go arrest him. But that was. Oh man, sorry about that. Let me say to that person, the amount of neo-Nazis I've put in prison, people just like you, gives me great pleasure. Every time I think of them rotting away, it just makes me laugh. Or the ones I just exposed, or their identities, all that stuff. So keep it up. It gives me great pleasure to be a Nazi hunter, and it always will. Who knows? I might come for you someday. You never know. I always save, by the way, screen names and screenshots of people that do that stuff, and then if I have time, I look into it later. You'd be amazed how easy it is to find somebody just from a screen name. It's actually very easy. This is, what is this, La Brea? I should know where I am. No, I mean there's always been corruption, but this is to a different level. Like I said, we've never had a president who tried to overthrow the government, who's basically a gangster more or less, who then was reelected. You know what I mean? And we're all going to pay for that, unfortunately. We've also never had a time where, as far as I know, where wealth has been concentrated. Like, how many billionaires do we have now, as opposed to, I don't know, just pick a different date in history, right? Your parents' generation, you could buy a house, you could survive on an income of how many, two people or one person working. You can't do those things anymore. So we have taken a turn for the worse, for sure. But the corruption does extend to both parties. There's no question about that. That's not even up for debate. We've also never had a time where we've had this shadow kind of president like Elon Musk, who more or less is the president right now. And that's just the case. can't help you if you don't understand the difference. There's a huge difference between a actual mafia president, which basically we have now, and shady presidents. Every president is shady. All of them. This is completely different. If you don't understand it, we cannot help you, unfortunately. It involves reading and, nuance and comprehension. Well, Musk definitely did a Nazi salute. It's crazy that that was even a discussion, but that's where we're at. It was pretty disappointing to see some of the headlines. I understand the mechanics of journalism as someone who does it, about how you create a headline and how you want to write. It's called defensive writing. That's what one of my old bosses used to call it. You're writing things to be as accurate and careful as you can. But it is not up for debate that he gave a Nazi salute. That's not a debate. So news outlets were within they're afraid that's the problem. And I've encountered that at some of these places that I've worked. I wrote an entire piece on Musk that was killed at a place I worked. They killed the piece because they were freaking out. And I was like, you guys really don't get it. Now is the time to publish this stuff, not later when it's become too late. Man, I think I'm gonna walk back now. I just realized I've walked at least a few miles, and you got to go a few miles back, right? Yeah, it was crazy how they were, because I know every trick in the book from doing this job. I know I should do a stream on that. I know every trick how these cowardly newspapers will couch their words. One thing they'll do is they'll write the meat of the story in the headline, like X happened, comma, this is where they try to cover themselves, experts say. You'll see the New York Times do that a lot. It's not enough to say Elon Musk gave a Nazi salute when everybody knows that's what he did, comma, experts say. It's like, dude, just write the headline. That's a big thing. You'll see that in local news too, which is even worse than big papers. They do that a lot. The person was annoying me, so I just timed them out, but to your point on that, I don't know who you think you're talking to exactly, but I'm the one who's held an entire mob of protesters, most of whom are Jewish, to account at the worst mob attack on a college campus in American history, which was last year on UCLA. So I think you might want to do a basic Google search, and then when you're ready, come back to this channel and we can have a dialogue. It's like basic internet research. Also, I am Jewish, by the way. That was a very fun assignment, trust me. Exactly what I wanted to spend a year of my life doing. And I still do. We tracked a lot of them down one by one, that group of individuals, but unfortunately there hasn't been much, the prosecutors and all that don't seem to care. It's very sad. So it's not even about who believed in what. I'm about accountability. I would do that for anybody, no matter how much I disagreed with them or whatever. Had nothing to do with who was on what side in that case. No, I was talking to someone else, Natalie, not you. That's one of like the most annoying things about this medium is like there's obsessive qualities that people have, and this kind of like brings that out in them. Like the person I timed out, they made like 5 comments in a row, but it just wasn't stopping. I think people like that like should invest in some kind of mental health, because like it's sort of like obvious, right? Like after a couple times, if it's not working, just like in life, you wouldn't like corner someone at a party and start being weird, right? After a while, there's going to be a weird response, but the anonymity of the internet has allowed that kind of thing. Go this way. I've literally spent a year of my life identifying these thugs who attack these people, and which is not a lot of fun. I have to say, like, I usually kind of enjoy this, and then to have literally no action by the police or the prosecutors or whatever. Oh, you're talking about putting signs on poles, yeah. Yeah, you see that a lot here. Nobody really seems to care. I mean, usually it's to, like, it'd be something cool, like bands or whatever, that kind of thing. But yeah, in small towns, hey, talk about creepy. Tell me that's not the creepiest alley. Yeah, I guess small towns will crack down on that kind of stuff, but they don't really do that here. So I want to get a bunch of interviews going. My goal is one a week, but that is, I know that people are more likely to watch if there's a schedule. So if anyone has any suggestions or I don't know, things they want to see, or you can always hit me up at elevay@proton.me. That's ELEVAI. All my contact info is on Twitter and also on this channel. Maybe I could incorporate that into the memberships or something. I don't know, like more of a say in what happens on the channel. I'm pretty new to this, so I'm still figuring it out. Our power line. Hey, that's a good question. I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. We could definitely find out, though. Kind of has that Clockwork Orange feel, huh? I don't want to linger there forever, but it's just like so bright. Wait, am I crazy, or is that not like... Just like reminds me of that movie a little bit. Now, Lisa, that's what most channels do. Yeah, that's cool. I'm down with that. I know Ken does that. The reporter I mentioned, he is pretty successful on Substack, and I think on the top tier membership, people can suggest. I think the phrase he used was target, which I found. Actually, I thought that was pretty awesome, to be honest. That's not a phrase you usually hear. That's how a lot of journalists think, but they don't want to say it, like who the target is, that kind of thing. But he was like, yeah, you can help me pick targets. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. This is Mel's Driving. It's a famous diner. This is actually not the one that's like more famous. The one on Sunset Boulevard is the real famous one. Yeah, he was like, you can help me pick some targets. I was like, wow, that might get people to really sign up, This is cool. This is Hollywood and Highland. And this is back on Hollywood Boulevard. I'd say it's maybe in the 50s right now. So is it cold for LA? Yeah, but not for the rest of the country. I know you guys are cold right now. Oh God, I have to walk past another Scientology building. Here we go. If the signal goes out, hopefully it comes back again. Hold on to your wallet. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely hold on to your wallet anytime you're near a Scientology facility. Oh, that place is done. That place is done. No more recruiting there. At least for a while. Oh, it's a total pyramid scheme. Actually, I don't know, actually. Is that the right phrase for it, do you think? It might be. Like, it doesn't even benefit anyone. That's what I was mulling over in my head just now. Like, I guess like the person at the very top benefits from it. Hey, Kevin. We're not on this trip. Maybe we'll do that on another stream. That would be cool. I have to go back and install some. Oh wow, look at this. It's an Army Navy Star. What do you guys think? Would that look good in my place? The cannon, whatever it is. What about the helmet? Would my significant other want me in a spacesuit like that? What do you guys think? I think I'm gonna buy that and just wear that from now on. A couple months ago, if you guys saw that with Lara FM, right on the strip. I think the Viper Room is the nicest like rock club I've ever played at. They're very professional, but they're also just extremely. They treat you like they treat everybody like they're not just a headliner, but like they're some. They just like treat you really well. Maybe I'll add this to the outfit too, one of these. Whoa. Yeah, we'll have to ask her if I should wear this too. I think I could pull it off. I feel like I probably could. That's just me though. Whoa. Yikes. It's kind of scary. Thanks, Natalie. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. There it is. I have to install some curtain rods. That's what I need to do today. That's why I can't stream for too long. There's just so much sunlight here that I got these double curtain rods. And now I'm gonna attempt to install them later. Back at the Hustler store. We were here yesterday. All right, enough of this mannequin stuff. I'm done. It's good to see people out here again. Yeah, I want to get especially more of the interviews going, and even if it's a solo show, like people have been telling me about, like people like David Pakman, and I like Sam Sear a lot, so that's kind of like the direction I'd like to go in. I just picked up some lights too, you know, just to like kind of make things look better, so I'm going to mess around with those too. I think even just some basic lights really will improve like sort of the way the studio looks. Thanks, Patricia. Yeah, the fires were very bad for sure. But I was lucky, I only had to evacuate one night. A lot of people have it a lot worse. Hope you fall. What a sad comment. Imagine actually thinking of that and writing it. It's kind of funny, actually. I did not fall. I tell people on this channel, at least be creative if you're going to be a troll. We want to be entertained. Okay, getting those steps in. I was in pretty good shape, and then I told the story on another stream. I did 3 months of sort of like surveillance work. It sounds cool. It was not cool at all. And among the many reasons it's not that cool, you gain weight because you're just sitting in your car. I also was on a high-speed chase, which, trust me, is not like in the movies at all. It's also not especially cool. Maybe if you're a cop or something, because then you at least have some, maybe some level of protection. But if you're, if not, you got a problem. All right, it was a little fun. I'm not gonna lie. A little bit, but not a huge amount. That's right. Thanks, Marcia. Everybody hit that like button, subscribe. Check out the Substack. If you want to contribute to the channel, all the links are there. We appreciate it. But most of all, we appreciate you just watching. Yeah, that's right, Patricia. Oh, did you work in law enforcement? I was just curious. I was never a cop, but as somebody who has done some, let's just say, what would be the phrase? Anonymous work, maybe. I do understand the rush that comes with it. But at least those folks who have a badge and gun, you know, there's like people backing them up to some degree. When you're out there in a different way, like I've been, it's scary. Even just covering protests can be scary. Really scary. Check out that stream the other day, the one you'll hear me say a few things about that. The one that's like three or four streams ago, activists shut down freeway. Because I just didn't know it was gonna kind of be as big as it was, and so I wasn't, I didn't bring the gear that I would usually have, so it was crazy. I used to be able to hide a little more. It became, if you have any kind of success in reporting or whatever, things change a little bit. I mean, it's not a bad thing, obviously, but it's a little harder for me now to do that kind of stuff. I used to be able to do it, but you said you're from South Central, Tommy? Yeah, we're in LA right now. That's Capitol Records right there. I like what Sam Cedar does a lot. That's kind of like the stuff I'd like to do. You know, like if you guys follow Sam or Majority Report, you know, like a daily show, news show. Uh, put some comedy in there too, that kind of stuff. All right, guys, I think I'm going to tap out. We'll end on this lovely shot here. Love this. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, send suggestions, and of course, always angry hate mail. You can send it the same place, eleve@proton.me. Appreciate you guys. Bye-bye.